Hello and welcome to my channel. For this video, I've gathered up some small wood pieces, paint stirrers, spindle pieces, some painted, some not, some miscellaneous blocks of wood that I have no idea where they came from. And I'm going to be using some of those for some fall decor in the What Would You Make monthly playlist. And I'll tell you more about that in a few minutes. For my first project, I'm using this piece of a spindle along with a little shadow box. I picked this up a couple of years ago after Christmas because it was Christmas decor, and I got it for 75% off of 49 cents, so 12.5 cents or so. I removed the star that was in it and painted over the snowflakes on the inside, and that's as far as I got with the project. So I grabbed my pliers, got that block that was in the box, got that loose, and I'm going to be painting over the white that's already in there, the inside of the box, and then I'm going to be using some paper on the outside of the box. I used some Waverly chalk paint in the color moss for that, and I also painted that spindle piece with that same color. You can see here that I painted the bottom, the top, and inside the little shadow box, and I'm just going around the outside edges with that paper. So I measured how wide I needed that to be, and then I brought out my straight edge cutter, paper cutter, and I ended up having to do 2 strips because this only went around not quite a full 3 sides. Before I started gluing that down, I went ahead and wrapped the paper around and kind of scored or creased the lines where it was going to be lapping over. And I'm using gloss Mod Podge. You can use whatever adhesive you like, what you're most comfortable with, whether it's a glue stick or Elmer's glue, tacky glue. And I'm putting a light coat down and then rolling that paper over on top of it. And then I had to piece right here. You'll see I pieced it a little on one side and just a little bit overhanging onto a second side. And then while that's drying, I'm going to use some white wax by Folk Art, and I'm going to cover the whole spindle piece, making sure that I get down in all those little cracks and crevices because I want the wax to settle there when I wipe off the excess. And I just took a dry paper towel and wiped across that. I did the same thing with the inside of the box and that top edge. No need to do the bottom because no one's going to see that. I just put the white wax all over and then gave it a light wipe down. Now I'm ready to file off the edges of that paper, and I used an emery board for this. I filed the top edge, the bottom edge, and all those little corners because I want it to kind of blend in where I've pieced it and not show up so much, and I hope you understand what I'm saying here. Now I'm ready to glue the 2 pieces together, and I used Gorilla hot glue in my glue gun and pretty much just eyeballing it here, trying to get it centered up. Once I had it together, look how cute it is. It holds a little tea light. I've got some wood blocks, so I set the tea light up on one of those and just added in some pomegranates and leaves, what was within arm's reach of me when I was finishing this up. Here's another look with some pomegranates and eucalyptus. But my favorite look is adding this little milk can looking candle from Dollar Tree and some twine and a leather tag. So cute on a tray. I took another one of the spindle pieces and I found 4 scrap pieces of painter sticks, and what I'm going to do is glue one on each side of this. I want it to look like a pumpkin, and I thought that would just add a little more detail, a little more depth to the piece, if you will. I took some apple barrel acrylic paint in the color Barn Red and painted all 4 sides of that. The paint stirrer really grabbed onto the color and it turned out darker which was a good thing because I wanted to have a little bit of separation. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to notice that I've put that extra piece on the outside there. Before painting the top, which I want to look like the stem of a pumpkin, I went ahead and cut this off because I thought it was just a little bit too long. And I'm leaving the spindle where it just makes this indented design here. And I went ahead and did that same thing to the other pieces that I'm going to be using. Just taking off like that. That's what it looked like originally. And just cutting right above that section. And I think I'm going to use celery on this one, if I can get enough on my brush to cover that, because I'm running really low of my celery and moss paints, because I like those. And I'm just going to go around the top there. It's not much of a color change from the gray that it was before, but I'm going to go all the way around that top area and the end of this as well. I'm going to bring out the wood grain again in that stem by using some folk art antique wax. Anybody else having this problem? I turned it upside down and it got really globby. So I'm going to put a little bit on a stencil brush. Yuck. I'll brush it right in that center part. Kind of spread it out. I'm going to take a paper towel and spritz just a little bit of water on there. Take off some of the, where I got a little heavy there, and it's, see how it's settling into those creases and bringing out that grain more. And I'm going to do that all the way around. I have different kinds of berries that come in these packs from Dollar Tree last year, as well as some pomegranates, fall leaves, some little tiny orange flowers. Aren't those sweet? I also have some different colors of twines and some ribbons that may or may not make their way into embellishing these pumpkins. Now for a little embellishment on there, I'm going to use just a half of one of those leaves that came with the berries on it. Like so. I think that'll be cute. Let's turn the leaf that way, where it looks like it's actually coming off the stem. Kind of diagonal with those berries. Something like that. And now I'll add a little something extra by putting some green twine on there. I thought it matched the green leaf, so I'm going to make the ends uneven on this piece of twine. And then I'm going to do it like so. That way, hopefully the strings will hold down better. Or hang down, I should say, rather than standing out. That can look like little tendrils there. Maybe a bow. Maybe that's too long. I like that better. I think I'm going to call this one done. And what I'll do is, at the end of the 5 pumpkins, I'll group them all together for a final reveal. I'm going to be leaving this spindle pumpkin the same color as it was. Don't remember what colors I mixed together to get that, and then dry brushed white over it. I'm going to go ahead and use the celery color again on this top part that's going to be the stem. I think I'm going to do some of these little orange flowers on this one. I think that'll be cute. I think I'll take them off. Just put a little grouping of those together on there. I'll try to get several of them in before the glue cools down. This is my low temp glue gun, so you gotta hurry scurry. I just made a little trailing pattern of those little flowers on one corner. I feel like this needs a little something more, so I took some of my tulip slick paint. It's a dimensional paint, not puff paint, but it works about the same. And I'm going to try to freehand some little pieces on there that looks like tendrils. Maybe. Let's go on up to the stem with that. Yeah, that's looking better. I'm going over to this side with some of that too. There we go. I like that. And I'm going to also go right around the bottom of the stem. Maybe have another little curly Q coming down here. There, that's cute. The What Would You Make Open Playlist comes around every month, and it's hosted by Zaina from OK at Home DIY and Connie from Connie's Creative Creations. And they ask that we make DIYs using any kind of wood. Their special guest this month is Theresa from Theresa B DIY. I've left all three ladies' channel links in the descriptions along with a playlist link, so be sure you go over and visit those once you're finished here. Moving on to the larger spindle of the bunch, I'm going to be using the folk art color Terracotta, just brown with a little orange tint in it. And I'm going to paint all four sides with this. And then I'll be back to show you what color I'm using on the top of this pumpkin. Now that that's dry, I'm going to add the color truffle to the stem. It's a really dark brown. If I don't like it, I can always cover it with something else. Well, we shall see. I don't know, y'all. It looks pretty dark. And even though I can lighten it up with some lighter ribbon or whatever, I am going to also put some white wax over that. That ought to do it. It don't take much. I'll just brush that all around. And then I will immediately grab a dry paper towel and start lightly brushing some of that away. Oh yeah, that toned it down really well. And I'm going to take some of that white wax and kind of make some detailed lines in there. I'll just take a little small brush. I'm going to go right down the center. And I'm not trying to be exactly straight. And I'm going to do the corners as well. And I'll take a dry paper towel and go over that. Well, I didn't leave that on long enough for the one corner, so let's do that again. For this spindle pumpkin, I'm going to add this piece of ribbon, which I thought was a great match for that. Since it's so wide, I'm going to have to kind of accordion fold it like so, and then wrap it around. And I'll just tie a loose knot there because this is wired ribbon. It's going to hold. This is one of the smaller of the spindle pieces, and I'm going to be painting over the yellow with Golden Sunset, kind of a yellowish, brownish, nice fall color. But before I do that, I'm going to be adding these all the way around. It's the handles from the Dollar Tree foam brushes. I've been hanging on to these, trying to think of something I could use them for, and I thought, why not? They're in my scrap wood box. Might as well use them here. And 3 doesn't completely cover, but that's alright. I only need a little bit of glue. I'm going to go ahead and line them up at the bottom and push them together. I'm making sure I've got the brush holes at the bottom. So yeah, I'm going to go all the way around. I went around with the glue gun and added just little bits in between, just for extra security. There, 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 there. And now I'm ready to start painting. I'll do my usual fashion of painting, just squeeze it out and then spread it out. I'm going to paint the stem of this pumpkin with the moss colored Waverly chalk paint. And just like with the celery, I'm almost out. That's just dropping it straight down. That's how much I got left. I'm really loving my greens lately, almost as much as my pinks. I missed the step of showing you that I put white wax over the entire thing. And just the same as before, coated it, wiped it off with a dry paper towel. And now I'm going to be adding one of these little pomegranate picks. I thought that was a nice complement of color to this. And I'm going to leave the leaves attached. I'm just going to cut right below there. I think that's a little too much. Let me clip off one of the pomegranates. Yeah, I like that better. So put some glue right there. And lay down that pick. And now this one's finished. I'm going in reverse this time because since I already have some moss color on my brush, I'm going to do the stem first on this one. I'm going to use the color of Tuscan Teal for this pumpkin. Not a color you would see in nature, but neither is the burgundy that I used, and I love it. After that dried, I covered the whole piece with white wax, and as before, after I got it coated, I took a dry paper towel and wiped away the excess. I think this one will look nice with some of these darker berries that I have. Just like with the first pumpkin, I'm going to just put a few of the berries. They're so stuck together. Let's go about, I think that'll be good. And cut that leaf down. Let's see which side I like the best. I think that one's good. Put down that leaf, and then the dark berries on top. I'm not exactly happy with that, so I'm going to redo that. Let's pull those berries off, pull that leaf off. You're allowed to change your mind when you're crafting. There we go. I'm going to do some little sunflower stickers. I've had these for a while. Didn't want to use them, but just hadn't had the right opportunity for that. So now here we go. Let's see. We'll go right on the front with that bigger one. How would that look? Sure, why not? Go at the bottom with that one. And stick this little one here or here. I'll go offset there. I'll also grab a little bit of twine. We'll do this white color. I like that length. I'm going to leave that one just like that. And here is my wood spindle pumpkin patch. I like how each one of these turned out. They all have their differences. I like them all in their own way, but I think I like the yellow one just a little bit more than the others. If you've got a favorite, I'd love to hear it. So leave me a comment below and let me know. Thank you so much for watching my video today, and I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please let me know by leaving a thumbs up. And remember to go over and watch the playlist for this challenge. Until next time, bye-bye.